Hey everyone, Gurky the Gacha Grinder here. Playing Lost Sword. Kind of fell in love with the game. Wish it was a little more turn-based and not an auto battler, but we've gotten past that. So we're going to talk about tips and tricks today. This is going to be, I think I'm going to do a beginner's guide that's going to have some slightly different content in it, but we're going to talk about some tips and tricks to help you play this game efficiently and maybe learn a thing or two. So the first tip, and I'm a little different than most people, but the first tip is save your diamonds. You're going to save your diamonds for good rate-up banners for characters or pets. And then if you go over here occasionally, like this one right here is absolutely, in my opinion, a must-buy for the refining stones. But save your gems for good promotional packages and rate-ups, because the standard tickets, they give you plenty of them. There's probably 20 10 pulls and a couple hundred more summons throughout the game, various methods and rewards and completion. So save your gems. The rate up banners, or the rate up tickets are very limited. I'm playing some other accounts, and about 75% of where I'm at right now, and I think I have 40 rate up character and 10 rate up pets. So save your gems. I did see a couple people asking in the Discord over the past week, where do we get cards? There's no banner, etc., etc. So you get your cards from Dupes. There's a couple you can buy if you go up here to the shop, and is it the event shop? It's not the event. God damn it, where is it? The mileage shop has two. It also has an Elizabeth in there, but you get them from Dupes. So if you go in here and you go to a character, and you go to, well, it's not called Succession, it's called Transcend. You see Resonance and Transcend. You use your first dupe to get a card of that unit. You get a card of every unit in the game like that. There are some in packs and other things, but that's how you get your dupes. One of the most important things, at least up into mid to mid end game, is keep your units leveled evenly. Your top 5. So, as you can see, mine aren't very much off. Try to keep my tank up there, and Tiamat is just hands down the highest DPS in the game. She just completely nukes everything. But I do have Bedivere maxed, and I try to keep my. I'm mid to late game right now. I believe anyway. I played Korean version, but from where I'm at, I believe I'm mid going into late game. So damage. I mean, you can go defensive, offense, but as long as you have somebody to keep you alive. So I try to keep them relatively even, and so the penalty starts from 1 level difference to a max of 25. So when you add up all your units, 5 units divided by 5, that'll be your average. And then when you're going in and fighting a battle, it'll have a level, and your penalty is determined by that. All right. So the next tip, there is a tag called added target. See this? The basic attack's number of targets is increased 2. It's very important that you put these on your healers. This is added target 1, but I'd like to find an added target 2. I don't think I have one currently. That one, the Dragon Buster, has it. I'm actually probably going to take the loss and equip back over there. Where was it at? I forgot where it was at. You want to add a target 2 on your healers, especially. Transfer levels. This is something that everybody should know about. But let's say I wanted to swap Claire out with Bedivere. Go in here, go to level up, go to transfer. I can select Bedivere, and I can transfer all of the levels over, or a portion. It only costs 10,000 gold, but when you're swapping units out to try to test new units, this is something that you're going to need to do to effectively swap them, unless you keep a 1-for-1 on all 5 of your units in their level, because of the round table, which I believe opens up at 60. That's how you transfer levels. Now, pets are very, very important. Okay, they're the largest stat stick boost in the game. So we're going to go over here, and I just want to show you something real quick. So when you go to team formation, you go to pet, adjust this to prowess down, and what that does is it shows the highest rated pet, which would be these 3. Now, these are all attack pets. 30% ignore reduction, 30%, 36% ignore reduction, and critical damage. And then you can go through and look at them just in case there's something that you want to swap out. Like if you're running Lancelot and what's the name, Galahad. Something, a pet like that might be a little better for you. And then they have the HP ones. If you're running Lancelot on your team, this would be, you'd want probably a set of these, because they increase, that's 90%, and Lancelot is very stat dependent. But pets are very important. Do not neglect them. You can easily get up to Ascend 5. Let me just go in here real quick. Like you can get up to Ascend 5, like that one's 35%. On the purple ones anyway. So you can get better percentile increases than some of these other ones. The legendaries depending on the Ascend level. Another important thing to take into consideration, which will help you tremendously. So there's different foods in the game, and you want to keep those foods up as much as possible while you're playing the game. You can buy steak and chicken, which gives you attack percentage, and defense. If you go up here into the shop, you go to Raid, Dragon Roar. This gives you 10 attack speed, 25% crit damage. Go up in here to craft. Chicken stew is attack and defense 5%, and then critical damage 10%. In order to get the materials for these, you just go to your town and walk by the chickens and hit them. But you want to keep those up while you're playing to maximize your progression efficiency. Now we're going to talk about the daily stuff that you should be buying. You go over here to the exchange shop. This might seem a little expensive, your first 3 or 4 days or whatever. But once you're a week in or past that, there's things that you're going to want to buy every day. You're going to want to buy the boss stones, the compass, the scroll boxes. You're going to buy these even if you don't need them because you can convert them. Your gold ticket, your purple ticket. You're going to want to buy that. It's just 1,000 doesn't mean anything, but it's basically free once you get to a certain point. And then when you come over to the event, now this is just this specific event. I'm going to assume that they're all going to have it. You buy the extra tickets. It's gold. Just grab it, and then after you buy everything out, there's some things like boss raid tickets and some other things. I should have bought the roulette ticket, but I have to go in there and raid those. But yeah. Daily, you're going to want to buy that. Same thing with the steak and the chicken stew. Buy those daily, and that's going to help you. I mean, if you're playing longer than 5 hours or 2.5 hours, you'll lose the buff. But that's something you want to keep up all the time. So the next tip: skill upgrades. Do not waste your skill. Where are they at? Do not waste your skill ups on units that you are not going to be using long term. So, for instance, on my account, I just got Galahad, and I just got Tiamat within the last couple days. All right, so I was running Bedivere, Guinevere, DN, and I think I was running. What was I running? I was running Christina and someone else. Now, because I knew I wasn't going to be using Christina, I didn't level up her skills. This is very important because the level up books are extremely rare. So, see, I don't even have her maxed out yet. But yeah, be careful. You cannot reset them. Next thing up, and this is part of the Endgame RNG. I'm gonna do somebody I'm not playing with right now. DPS. Who we got? All right. So we're talking about the specialties. Like I said, this is Endgame RNG because it requires a lot of resources. My recommendation, and this is going to be real quick, is go through and give a specialty to every single person in every unit you have, because you can transfer them. But what you're going to do, so here's how it works. Healers, attack percentage are going to be the main stat. Tanks are going to be defense and HP percentage, and DPS are going to be attack and critical damage. Those are the most important stats. Now, you can supplement those with like magic attack, but when you start getting into mid to end game and everything scales off of percentage, those are going to be nominal. You can do an auto roll. So with this, we'll do this real quick just to show you guys how to do it. So we're going to go attack percentage. We want at least 25. Now, it's not going to roll all of these. It's going to go until it finds it. Then we're going to put in critical damage. That goes up to 30, so we're going to do 25. Now we're going to let it roll until it finds one. And then I'm going to show you the reason why it is going to be a late game RNG grind. Alright, so we got attack 27%. So when we click lock, it now costs 4 and 100k. When you lock two of them, it's 16 and 500k. I've got 326. I know it might seem like a lot, but it's not. Especially I can only roll this 5 times with that amount of gold. So again, healers you want attack percentage. Tanks are going to be defense and HP, and DPS are going to be attack and crit damage. Now you can get other stats in there to hold you over, but just make sure you don't get melee attack on a magic user. Alright, so we're going to talk about PvP real quick. It's probably the most boring part of the game, but your ultimate goal is going to be getting up to King, because you get 7,777 diamonds. You do this passively, use your points, but every time you get up to a new tier, you get more rewards. Unless you're a min-max, try-hard, sweaty beard type of person, you can pretty much ignore PvP, but you do want to participate to get those rewards. So, another thing that I have not used yet, where's it at? Let's go into a battle real quick. Our team presets. Alright. We're going to go to team formation. And this is preset 1. So this is my main team. What you do is you can go over here to preset 2, and you can change up your team a little bit depending on the type of content you want to do. For instance, like when you're doing the world boss or the raid, you don't necessarily need a tank in there. You can run 4 DPS and someone with a little bit of sustain, like Guinevere or Dean or whatever, run Dean and 4 magic users and archers, and you could swap between this instead of going in here and manually doing everything. It's something I haven't utilized yet, but it is something I wanted to talk about because I think it's going to help. Another thing that's kind of boring, but you don't want to miss out on it, because it gives you a lot of resources, which is the Labyrinth. This is going to help you upgrade you're going to get the materials to upgrade your town levels, which is going to be passive stats. Make sure you do it. I mean, there are other rewards in there too, but just make sure you do it. It's boring. Another little quick piece of advice, which I learned recently. But when you go through, there's chickens. Kill the chickens, and you can run. They automatically get picked up. She is probably the worst character to use this in. But as you can see, they'll passively get picked up, I promise you. Move back to the lobby. Another thing that is extremely important, join a guild as soon as you can. They're not in here to talk and have fun. You get a small stat boost, but you want to get into Avalon as quickly as possible. That's where you're going to get the majority of your guild points or your guild currency. Avalon is already open. I'm pretty sure I did all my challenges. But when you complete a stage, it gives you these chests that you open up to give you guild currency, and there's random other things like raid tickets and stuff. Pro tip, do 3 attacks on 2 different ones because you get additional time. So if you go in the first time, you get like 15 seconds and 25 and 60 or whatever it is. But don't do one of each. You're going to lose a lot of rewards. Okay? So for progression, so if you're going through a stage and you're getting killed too quickly, swap out a unit for another healer. Run Dian and Guinevere. Okay, if you're dying too quick. If the timer's running out, try swapping out a healer or a tank or putting in a different DPS. And in the stages, if you look at the top underneath the bar, it tells you range defense, melee defense, etc. So if you're just running out of time, you're not doing enough damage, and it says range defense, put in a melee user or a magic user. Okay? And another thing that everybody should know, because it's part of the game, make sure you go in here and you chat with your characters. You get 6 a day. It raises the bond level, and as you can see, I get bonus stats for having Neo Bedivere at level 10. Don't neglect this. It isn't part of your dailies. Just get it done and over with. Endgame, you'll need those extra stats. Some other random information: healers don't crit, so you don't have to worry about putting crit or crit damage on your healers. Another thing that's pretty important: Stonehenge. Save all of your boss tickets until you open up Stonehenge 8. Alright, so the Age of Shield is actually something that you're going to need on at least one unit for a stage later on. But Stonehenge level 8 is the first Stonehenge that drops multiple legendary items, and it's the first time you'll be able to farm the rune in the statue, other than crafting or buying it. And the gear is pretty good. So save all your boss tickets until stage 8. I promise you, you won't regret it. Now, another thing that I got from Pride One, that I didn't know about this, but on the gold stages. Alright, so if you're having problems with defeating the extra mobs at the boss, only run rangers and wizards, and they won't spawn extra boss mobs. So this is a kind of a cheese strat if you're having problems on a stage. Every 5 stages there's waves, but on the 4 in between, you should do that. Sorry if this was bouncing around. I was just trying to get some information out there for everybody. We will make an in-depth beginner's guide and a content guide at some point. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Peace.